Hey friend, can I remind you of something the world keeps trying to make you forget? You don't need more to begin. You don't need someone else's stage, spotlight, or permission slip. God already gave you something powerful, His breath is in your lungs. His image is in your being. He called you enough before you ever achieved anything. But I get it. Maybe you've looked around and thought, why not me? Why is he ahead while I'm still waiting? I've asked that same question too. But here's the truth. Comparison is a thief. The enemy doesn't need to destroy your life, he just has to convince you you're not enough. And if you believe that lie, you'll hold back the very thing God gave you to carry. So stop shrinking to fit a mold that was never meant for you. Stop downplaying the gifts in your hands just because they look different from someone else's. Life may feel unfair, and maybe it is. But God isn't looking for fairness. He's looking for faith. Let me ask you something real, brother. What has God placed in your heart? Maybe it's a dream that wakes you up at night, a calling that feels too big, a vision that won't leave you alone. We all have something deep inside the sense that we were created for more than just surviving. But here's the question most people avoid. What price are you willing to pay to walk in it? Because calling always comes with a cost. And purpose doesn't arrive without pressure. If you want what heaven placed before you, you've got to get used to discomfort. It won't be easy. It won't always make sense. But nothing God breathes into the world comes without a battle. There will be moments when you feel like quitting, when doubt screams louder than faith. But that's when your character is shaped not on the mountain, but in the valley. So trust Him. Keep walking. You don't chase calling because it's convenient. You chase it because He's worth it. Let me speak to your heart for a second. There's a moment in every journey when you have to decide, are you all in or are you halfway hoping it'll work out? Because you can't win a God-sized battle with a half-hearted effort. Faith isn't casual. It's not convenient. It's full surrender even when you don't know what's next. A lot of people want the breakthrough. They want the story, the testimony, the stage. But they don't want to carry the cross that comes with it. Let me be honest. If you're not ready to fail, you're not ready to win. This walk of faith isn't about safety. It's about courage, about trusting boldly, risking deeply, and loving fully, even when the outcome is unknown. So today, don't hold back. Give it all. Your trust, your action, your heart. Because God doesn't breathe life into halfway obedience. And when you fall, because you will, don't fear it. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of the journey toward it. David stumbled. Peter denied. Moses ran. But they didn't stay stuck in shame. They got up. They moved forward. Because God doesn't disqualify what He can redeem. So rest in this truth. If God is still with you, then your story is not over. Let failure refine you, not define you. But here's what I've learned the hard way. Not all failure is equal. Some failure destroys you. But some failure builds you if you stay focused. You're not called to throw wild punches in the dark. You're called to move with purpose. Start. fail, adapt, try again, and stop explaining your steps to people who aren't even headed where you're going. If they don't carry peace, if they aren't walking with God, their opinions don't matter. God didn't call you to win their approval. He called you to follow His voice. And if people call your faith foolish, let them, because what they call blind faith, heaven calls obedience. Cynics are right. Most of the time they'll predict failure and feel smart when things fall apart. But all it takes is one yes from God to silence every "I told you so." The optimist doesn't win because he's naive. He wins because he dares to believe when others quit. And that's what God rewards, not the one who plays it safe, but the one who walks with reckless trust. So let me ask you this. When pressure comes, how do you respond? Because adversity doesn't build your character, it reveals it. Proverbs 24:10 says, "If you falter in a time of trouble, how small is your strength? But your strength doesn't come from you. It comes from the one who never falters." So, if you feel weak, lean in. Don't run. Don't quit. Let God shape who you are in the pressure. And if no one notices your faithfulness right now, that's okay. The enemy isn't afraid of men with money. He's afraid of men with resolve. The kind of man who keeps showing up, keeps praying, keeps obeying, even when the applause is gone. And in the end, we don't run this race to prove people wrong. We run it to prove God right. So take that first step, not because it's easy, but because He called you. You're already equipped. All that's missing is your yes.